Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, I'm sure you heard all about this weekend. But before I get into that, this is a King Farouk FN-49. It's my latest assault gun. No, this is a battle rifle. Shoots 8mm Mauser, not a intermediate cartridge, a full battle rifle cartridge. It was issued to the Egyptian troops from FN under the reign of King Farouk, long before the declaration of the Arab Republic. This one is in absolutely pristine condition. It's been factory rebuilt a few times. There's some plugs and other pieces that have been fitted to some problems with the stock, but they've done a wonderful job of it. The safety works fine. The bolt works fine. It's unloaded. It's just a beautiful piece of the gunmaker's art, and I call it an art. Matter of fact, I have a good book on it. Let's see if I can find that book. Yeah, the FN-49, Last Elegant Old World Military Rifle. Good book. It's a great rifle. Anyway. Oh, and I also have the bayonet. This is kind of rare to have these days. You know, bought this from a local, I think it was a dentist, a fellow who had it, who, yeah, he's just getting up there in the years and decided, well, he's not going to be shooting it. And I've yet to shoot it myself, but I'd love to. I'd love to take this out and shoot it. I now have a Hakim, and a Rashid, the three main battle rifles of this country. This one was made by FN. Those two were made by, by the Egyptians, under the guidance of the Swedes, because they're both they were designed on the basis of a Swedish engineer, and the Swedes had just gone from their use of the FN-40 or the AG-42 Youngman, and they had the toolings for it, so they sold it to Egypt. Anyway, that's another story, and we'll talk about that another time. I'm sure you heard about what happened this weekend. There's been a lot of talk. I saw it myself. I watched the whole scene 14 or 15 times from various angles. I have one unique thing to say. I'm old enough that I remember when JFK was shot. Yes, I'm that old. I was a little kid at the time, but I remember it. We were living in Dayton, Ohio at the time, and my dad was at work. He worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Mom was home. I was home because I was sick from school. We didn't have a television, but we had a radio, and Mom was listening on the radio, and I remember it was a Walter Cronkite broadcast. And there was a lot of hubbub and people talking about this and that and the other. Suddenly there was a long pause, and then Cronkite came on and said, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, has died. And my mom started weeping. My mom was a Republican. My family was Republican. But Mom wept because it was our president. It was our president. Didn't matter the parties, the politics. We may disagree politically, but he was the leader of our country. And that's the point. For 10 years now, they have called Donald Trump Hitler, the threat to democracy, all kinds of nasty things. They have said he will open death camps. He will round up, whatever. They've accused him of all the things that they have done. I mean, how many people are still sitting in jail uncharged with a crime because of January 6th? And we know that most of it was absolute bogus bovine scatology. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can say one thing. I'm with Trump. Come hell or high water, I'm with Trump. At least he believes in honoring our Second Amendment. I collect these things. I don't particularly care for the AR-15. I've got one, but I don't particularly care for them. I don't like plastic rifles. I like mellow wood. I like metal. I like the interplay of these two traditional systems for making firearms. It just looks cool, in my opinion, and it works well. And it's just a very interesting, and if you look into it, heck, I study history. I majored in college. Didn't work in it, but I did study it. And I've devoted myself lately to the study of the history of firearms. And I can go back to matchlocks and all the way up to the modern bullpups. I mean, there's so many aspects of this that can be viewed. But that's the beauty of being an American. You can buy these, you can own these, you can take care of them, fix them up, make sure that they work fine, go to a gunsmith, and if it's beyond your own means or your own knowledge, and have him look at it, check the headspace, make sure that it's safe to shoot. All of that is possible in America. Why? Because we've got a constitution. Because we have certain inalienable rights. And they are spelled out quite effectively in the Constitution. The Constitution does not provide us with any rights. All it does is state what we have rights to. This one, it specifically stated, as did the Declaration, as does the Federalist Papers, as do all the writings of the founders, that this is inalienable. This is a right endowed by our Creator, not by government. Government is there to help us, not to create a system where we are the peasantry and they are the ruling class. But the Democrats have seemed to change that. And because of that, I wear this. And I will vote that way. I sit in a blue state where I have very few rights left. But by God, I will protect the rights I've got, and I will protect my family, my friends, and I'm American. I am proud to be an American. And I will damn well die before I will renounce the fact that I am an American. Well, this is my rant day. This is just a rant day. I haven't ranted in a while, but my God, somebody took a shot at a quarter of an inch. He survived by a quarter of an inch. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's obvious that Providence had planned that day. And that plan did not involve his head squashing like a melon. I could hear that shot go by. I thought, at the time, well, that sounds like a 223. Then I heard, 4 or 5 more shots, and I said, 223. I may be wrong about that, but I hear shots in the canyon up here all the time, and I can say, okay, that's a 9mm. That's something like maybe a 44. Oh, that's somebody shooting off a black powder. You get to know these things. Now, the microphone cut off the high ends of the shot because that's the way mics work. But I thought it was a 223. Anyway, the shooter's dead. The Secret Service agents that were supposedly be guarding him need to be fired. Their supervisor needs to be fired. The manager of that whole department needs to be fired. The whole thing needs reorganized. This is just so bad. Just so bad. And I hope that Trump hires his own security, because obviously he can't trust the government-provided Secret Service security. Can't be done. Oh, I heard, by the way, he just appointed J.B. Vance as his running mate. I agree. Vance is younger, and he hasn't been besmirched by the Washington elite. Oh well. I'm gonna stop now. I'm just getting more and more angry, Anyway, happy trails.